Hey guys, welcome back to my daily writing vlog. Yes, where I give you daily updates on how the progress on my novel is going. Because I'm currently writing a dark fantasy novel about a disgraced spy who infiltrates an underground organization in order to save her career, only to come face to face with corrupting forces, aka cursed ancient magic, that threaten to possess her father, the only family she has left, and also who is also one of the leaders of their country, right? So, good news, I wrote 450-ish words yesterday, so it's progress. Yes, it's actual progress, and I am right about the time where it flips into a what's that? It flips into the second half of the chapter where it's mostly Ellerin, my main character, and this recently introduced character Leowen kind of reuniting. This is a reuniting when they're alone, but Leowen is more distant than Ellerin remembers, and he reveals that he is not exactly an ally to her in the first part of her assignment, which is basically a test to prove that she can succeed at the actual mission, right? The actual mission being infiltrating the underground organization, and the test being identifying who the recruiter is for the organization, right? Because Leowen was her mentor in Espionage, and he's been there for like months at the very least. So I felt like it was a plot hole that he would not know who the recruiter is. It felt like a plot hole to me, you know. So I said, okay, so he knows who the recruiter is, especially since in one of the previous drafts I had, and I was toying with keeping, which now I actually am keeping, his father had connections to the previous iteration of the organization, back when it was a protest movement rather than a fully fledged out like underground organization, right? So I felt like it makes sense that he would know who the recruiter is. So he does know who the recruiter is. And if Ellerin hadn't been assigned the mission, he would have been the one who would be assigned the mission. There were just some things that caused the council or the military to hesitate assigning him the mission. Namely that he built a connection with the underground organization through his true identity as the son of his father, who is basically the only civilian on the council, on the ruling council of the country. And going undercover there, or maybe not undercover, but infiltrating the organization would mean damaging his reputation as an official of the government, and also his father's, and also kind of like cutting ties with his father, and it would be kind of hard to like harder to pass information along and all that stuff. So there were issues there that I still have to completely work out, as you can tell. But I decided that, okay, in that case, since Ellerin was given like this test and then this mission which will allow her to save her career and keep herself from being extradited for her failed mission, right? He would basically be the proctor because he already knows the answer to the test. So he's proctoring her test. He's the one who she has to report her findings to, and he will be the one to determine whether or not she deserves to get the true mission, which is infiltrating the underground organization and stealing their secret weapon, their rumored weapon, I should say. And I got really excited when I figured this out because, boy, the tension that would introduce to their relationship, instead of just being like, oh hey, we're old friends, or like, he used to be my mentor in the past kind of thing. It's more, ooh, the other person holds my main character's career in his hand, and he has issues with intimacy and affection. Not like in a romantic way, but of course, intimacy tends to be thought of as like purely a romantic thing in my experience, but I mean like the feeling of being known, which isn't just restricted to romance. It also appears in like platonic relationships, you know. So he feels uncomfortable at the thought of being known. So he actually has like, oh, excuse me. Okay. So, sorry, quick break. Some people arrived to fix my aircon because it's broken. The flap is open and there's nothing blowing through it. It doesn't even say on or off because it doesn't turn on or off. But yeah, so I forgot where I was. So I'll have to make this quick because the guys who are going to fix the aircon are here. And yeah. So yeah, I'm just really excited because the tension that would introduce to the relationship, like, Leowen actually has been attempting to distance himself from Ellerin because he felt like he was getting too attached. He has attachment issues, basically, you know. And Ellerin is just there confused because this guy was the same guy who like mentored her in Espionage, who kind of was her emotional pillar in a time when her closest friendship and her other mentor figure, her first mentor figure, kind of they got into a fight and they basically like, you know, went their separate ways kind of thing. And so she's not expecting the kind of reception that she'll receive from him. So I'm like really excited to write that and see how it turns out and how that will affect the rest of the story. Because this is a fairly new development, but it still fits in the confines of the story. So I am so excited. And those are my updates for the day. Thanks again for listening to me. Bye-bye!